At birth, doctors said he would die. In school, they said he was dumb. The experts said he was disabled. But God said, you will live, you will learn, and you will love. Introducing Dr. Bennie T. Davis Sr., author of Y'all, I'm Not That Way Anymore. Hear his story and be inspired by his testimony. Join us on Facebook at Raw Talk and on YouTube at Real As Women Raw Talk. Wednesday, October 12th at 9 p.m. for Raw Talk Live.
Yes, indeed. It's Raw Talk Live. Hey, girlfriend Peggy, what's going on with you, baby?
Hey, what's going on, girlfriend Miss B?
Hey, just another day, just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
Okay.
And keep up.
Girl.
Yes. Yeah, so you're doing good tonight?
I'm doing good. I just rushed down from West Palm Beach. Got in this afternoon about 6:30ish. So I'm here for a night. Celebrate the grandbaby's birthday tomorrow, and I'm heading back to Palm Beach.
Back to Palm Beach.
Back to Palm Beach.
All right. Well, that's a good thing. That's good. You look lovely tonight. We're going to have a nice time. Our guest is already in studio with us. Hey, Step Paul. Hey, number one. Hello. Hey, girlfriend. So glad to see you. Folks are going to be coming on into the chat tonight to talk about this interesting, inspirational story. This wonderful gentleman. We had the somewhat of an introduction of him in the as we opened up tonight, so that people can get a feel for his story. Just get a little taste of it, a little tease. You know what I'm saying? Hello. Welcome. We're gonna be Yeah, you know what? People want to tell me all about technical things and what I need to do and all of that kind of stuff. I don't have control over that. There's no muting going on over here. I can't mute Peggy, and Peggy can't mute me. And if I mute myself, then you won't hear me. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what it is. I don't know what needs to be done about the audio. Steph said, there's an echo. I don't know. Unless you can't hear it all, I don't know what to tell you to do. I'm not an expert at this. I don't know what's happening. It's beyond me. Evangelist Birdie Rouse is watching. Thank you. We're going to see lots of wonderful people join us tonight because of Pastor. And hey, yes it is. It's all good. Thank you. Now Jane is watching on YouTube, so I don't know if it shows up different there or performs differently there or not. But I tell you, it might take me about a month. I'm hoping that by December I'll be able to afford the upgrades to equipment and all of those kind of things, because it's not free. It costs money. And so we just do the best we can while we can. And that's it. So we thank you so much for your patience and your understanding and putting up with us while we work this thing through. I got to hurry up because every week it kicks me out 2 or 3 times, and so I just put my hand on the computer and a little drop of oil, and I'm just and hoping and praying that because we have a man of the cloth on with us tonight, somebody who is closer to God probably than I am, that we will get some favor. We're looking right now for favor, God. We need your favor on this computer, on this live stream, on this audio. We thank you, God, in advance for favor. You understand? Thank you, Steph. You always do, and that's why we love you. That's why we love you. Yes. She said, drop the cash app for the show. I'll donate. You are too sweet to us. You are too sweet. We got to get you on.
I just checked Raw Talk and we have 790 followers. I'm excited about
Yes.
that.
That
It's
we are
slowly.
so excited. We are so
Yes.
excited. We are so excited. We are almost at the 2 year mark and we have been growing. And you know what it is? It's organic. It's authentic. We're not buying subscribers. We're not making pretend to be something that we are not. We are, we just working on this thing every week, little by little, and being consistent and
Yes.
being faithful and knowing that by doing just that,
Mm-hmm.
God will take us to where He wants us to be,
That's right.
and there you go. So thank you, step number one, raw talker. Yes, yes, and much love to all of the new folks who are joining us tonight in support of your pastor and your friend. Let me tell you something. He has a most amazing story, and so we're happy to get into that and hear it because we know that there are people who need to hear what he has to say. There are people who are going through right now who are struggling, whether it's struggling with an illness, struggling with a drug addiction, struggling with their loved one being incarcerated, just all of those kind of things. And sometimes you just need a word in due season, and you never know where it's going to come from.
Right.
Where that golden nugget is going to come from that's going to click in your spirit and change everything for you. And so we're hoping that by having him as a guest tonight, that's what happens. That's
That's
what's
right.
up.
And please, the people, the new people, his people that's joining us tonight, go to YouTube, hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, just visit us for the night, share us, come back next week, and the week after next, and the week after next, and just talk with us and conversate with us and, support us as we support you and whatever you're doing. Like I said, we picking up on guests that's requesting to come on the show. Now we booked for the month of October and getting booked for the month of November as well. So
Almost, yes.
we're picking up slowly but surely. It's starting to build and to grow. So please, we encourage you and please just come on back week after week. Come on back, share.
Share,
You
share,
know,
share.
that's right.
Share. Sharing is caring.
Sure, that's right. Share is caring. We support women and we support our own and each other in the community. And we're trying to find our community.
Trying to find our community. And so, yes, most definitely, we invite you to do that. And then, uh, in addition to that, if you have something going on, reach out to us and let us know, and let's see if we can fit you in somewhere on the show. We would love to do that. Okay. Let me see. I wanted to get there. I'm trying to see. I thought I had something that mentioned the our email, but it's raw talk 2021 at gmail.com. So if you're an author and you have a book that you want to share and promote, let us know about it. You have a special event, we want to know about it because we could very well feature you on the program. The more the merrier.
Yeah, of course.
The more the merrier. It'll be a good thing. Pastor has so many wonderful people tuning in tonight, watching him. So shout out to all of you. So Evangelist Bertie Rouse is watching. Hello, much love to you. And Gusan, welcome. And again, we say welcome. Barbara Holmes, thank you for being there. Veronica Sargent, we appreciate you. And another Facebook user, Michelle Barr, Dr. Michelle Barr is watching. Welcome, my love. Lorenzo Washington, we appreciate you. Yes, there you go. Thank you so much. Raw Talk 2021 at gmail.com. And so, that's what's up. So we gave you a little preview of his story, but we are excited to bring him on and have him share directly. So without further ado, much love and blessings and welcome, Pastor Dr. Bennie T. Davis Sr. in the
Lord, I'm
building. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Yes, Never the Praiser Maxwell is in the building. He says he is here. He is present. Yes. And Step Paul, one of and a wonderful Raw Talker supporter, welcoming everybody. We are like family here, and so we want everyone to feel love and welcome. Thank you, Facebook user. I don't know if that's Kim or Sinitra, but I know it's one of the two. So, Pastor, you have been a busy man today. Welcome. How are you doing? What's going on?
Oh, I've been excited about this outstanding show, the raw talk. I was sharing everybody I talked to today. I was saying, come to the raw talk. They talk real stuff. They don't put talk.
Yes, he did.
He brought it in.
Yeah, you brought it. You brought the smoke, the fire, the noise, everything. Hi, Rhea.
Hey, Rhea.
Yes. Teresa Balaam is here. Teresa Balaam went to she said you all went to Voorhees together.
Oh, yes, sir. The greatest college in the world. Not the world,
yes.
The universe. Just in case if they got a college on Mars somewhere. Voorhees University is better than
that. Wow. Okay. If they have other phone, tell them to turn them off. Yeah, nobody has a phone on. I don't think.
I don't have my phone on.
No, I don't hear an echo, but you all do. I apologize.
I can hear echo coming from Dr. Bennie. Yeah, I can hear it slightly. But like we said, if his phone is off, there's nothing we can do about it. It's technical.
It's technical, and so we're going to work that out.
In there with us.
Yeah, please, if you can. Please, if you can, we appreciate it greatly. But we are so happy to have you here. It's been weeks in the making, and we're excited about you and about your book. The name of the book, Tell All That I'm Not That Way Anymore. Did I get it right this time?
Oh, you got it right.
Beautiful. Available as a you can pre-order the book on Amazon, and we encourage everybody to do that. But Pastor, what a story you have. A book that's just chock full of overcoming.
Yes.
One thing after the other. So share with us who you are and what happened. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start in the delivery room.
Okay. Well, my mother, back then they had midwives, and when she gave birth to me, the first day was fine. Then I started having seizures. I had a tumor on my brain. And the doctor told my mother, he's going to die. But we're not going to let the insurance people know that he was sick already. So you'll be able to bury. But the Lord saw something different. I believe that from day one, before I even got here, Satan didn't want me to live because on October the 12th, 2022, I had an appointment with me on Raw Talk. And that devil didn't want me to live.
Hallelujah.
My goodness.
And then after that, God spared my life to get to I had a normal child. But what I guess is my mother didn't finish school. And because she didn't finish school, my father finished college and high school. And his parents felt that my mother wasn't good enough. And they looked at me and my sister as bastard children. And they didn't blame us. And because of that, my mother was just determined. And she worked hard and she provided for us the best we could. She let us know that about Christmas, don't let Christmas to be this day you get all you get things because we have bills. And she said, as the year go along, the Lord bless her. Learn real fast about not putting everything in perspective. Make a long story short, it was time to start school. And because of epilepsy, they also as an artistic child. So the people that supposed to help my mother, they didn't help her. The first thing they said to her is your son finished education, and when he finished school, we're going to give him a sustained 12 years. And then after that, they was letting her know she was older and I'll be bigger. And older also, and what they were saying is you need to put me in adult facilities after that. But God had another plan. After because they said that they never taught me how to read or write, you just listed me as autistic. So when I was in the 6th grade, we gave a test, and someone put me on the test, allowed me to take it. I couldn't read it. I didn't even know the answer. But Jesus knew the answer. And as I marked, then they called my mother and said, we're going to give people an opportunity to go to public school. And your son's going to be one of them. I remember my history class. They said Christopher Columbus sailed around the world. I couldn't spell Christopher Columbus, but my brother was named Chris. And I drew a bus, and put a boat on it. And when I looked at my picture, I knew what it said. So I went to the teacher and I said, ma'am, if I can come before class, and you just read me, I'll verbally give you the answer. And that's what they did. And I would take a call to school because I said, if young people 10 years old listen to rap and read it, then I should be able to continue to listen to the class over and over. And it hypnotizes me. When I go to class, we talk about it so much until I be able to teach that I know what's going on. And that's how I got out of school. That's how I made it. And,
wow.
I remember I was wanting to play football. I had a seizure. I was walking home and had a seizure on the railroad track and followed me. They let me know I couldn't play football no more. But I remember this incident, and this is in the book. I was coming from school and I felt myself about to have a seizure. I knew I was going to have a seizure. And my grandmother was staying 2 blocks behind us, 3 blocks. And I knew I was on the street. I knew I was on the street. My grandmother and grandfather. And I got right in front of their house, and that's when the seizure came. And all I could do was see the pavement or the road coming at me. And when I hit it, my blood just started coming. And I looked over there. And when I looked over there, I saw her standing in the door. And in the book, I said, when she shut the door, she just said, let it down. And they didn't call for no anything like that.
And that was your grandmother who said that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What did she say again? Can you repeat that again?
She said, let the bastard die.
What I'm saying, when I'm looking at her,
but this was your grandmother. Wait a minute, Pastor. This was your grandmother on your father's side, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they had basically disowned you. They didn't see, she didn't have love for you like you were her grandbaby.
Right.
Oh no, not because my mother didn't graduate from school, so they didn't think she was hard. They didn't realize that God used unqualified people.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it louder for the people in the back. God uses unqualified people.
Just in case you do know Moses is on the run for murder, and he said, "Go to Pharaoh and tell him to loose my people and let him go." And if he asks who sins, tell him I am. David was a man that had a husband killed, so he could be with the wife.
That's
Jacob
right.
was a trickster. Jacob was a liar. But and then don't believe Saul on his way to Damascus, he was a mass murderer. He wrote 1/3 of the New Testament. God always, don't forget, Rahab is his bloodline. She was a prostitute. Raw talk, she was a whore. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
But God used her. So God want to use us, but they just automatically just believe that they were just better, that me and my sister, my mother wasn't fit to even, she wasn't even fit to say that we was our son's children. So they just totally disowned us. They just didn't want nothing to do with us. At one time I wanted to do everything I could to make it for them. Then I realized if we don't do it for ourselves first, it's nobody else we can do it for. You know, we can say, I'm doing this for my children, but you got to do it for yourself first. Because if you don't work and get a check, you can't do nothing for your children. So I put in my mind that when I started school, I said, my mother got her doctoral degree in raising her children. And I said, my father graduated from college. I said, so my DNA is a winner. My DNA is I will get that high school diploma. I will go to college. I didn't care what nothing else. I didn't care about what man may say. All I know is that what my blood type, that was in my blood. That was in me. I will graduate from school and I will go to college. I was just determined to do that. And I worked hard as I possibly could. And in 1987, I became an alumni of Marion High School. And I remember going to, they had a college day. And the first college I wanted to go to was Clemson. And they were talking about what you had to make on the SAT. And that was probably the first time I really heard something about the SAT and stuff. And I just wanted to go to college. And this young man named Norman Jameson, he was a recruiter for Voorhees University, Voorhees College at the time. And he came to me and we were talking. And I said, I'm going to try it. He said, are you pretty good? I said, no, I'm not pretty good. I'm just. And he said, if you can make it, get out, graduate from school, Voorhees will give you a scholarship. Come and run track. And that was my way to get to Voorhees College. And I went to Voorhees. And I went 5 years to school. One semester, one summer session, I made all these. And the thing about going to Voorhees, they knew I had a problem, but I found myself in theater. I was selling drugs. Now I was recruited to sell drugs. Because when I went to Voorhees, I was selling bars and sodas in my room. And a young man came in and said, I'm just looking at you. And he said, you committed to that, but I got a way that you can make more money. I said, quit it, man. You can make some good money. So I love making money because I'm a hustler. And I started selling drugs. But I never do nothing just to say I'm a do it. If I can't be the best, I'm not going to participate. I remember someone told me in the church say, Benny, you can't be talking about the best. God don't want us to do that. I said, I understand. You got that $100-some Bible, and my Bible comes from Dollar General. And it might read a little bit for you. But let me tell you what my creator who made me say,
Pastor, let me stop you for just a minute, because I'm getting messages from people that the echo is real bad, and it I think is something on my end, because when the system kicks me out, you sound great. Everybody can hear you really well. So I don't know if me just removing myself from the screen will be enough. So I'm going to test and see.
Turn the volume down.
You know,
Turn,
I'm gonna test and see.
she said, turn your volume down.
Yeah, I heard
On
her.
YouTube, Pastor, turn your volume down a little bit.
Or can you put it on mute?
Yeah, I can mute. Everybody can mute except for you. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. All right, so I'm gonna try. You try muting. I'm gonna try muting myself, and see if that fixes it. So you all let me know if that fixes the problem by me being muted. If it doesn't, it might mean that I need to like go. And I don't know if like removing myself to backstage is going to be enough, but we're going to mess around with it and see. But yeah, YouTube and Facebook are both on my end because they have to be. Because we do both
simultaneously.
Yeah, it runs simultaneously. So yeah, they said when I leave, they can hear, but I don't know if that means huh?
Are they here with no echo?
Yeah, it's perfect, but as long as I'm not here. So it's something. Yeah, so I'm going to mute, and then we're going to let Pastor talk, and then see if that helps the problem. Because what he has to say is so, to me, I feel so important. I don't want it to be missed. Okay, so we're gonna mute ourselves and let Pastor talk, and then you let us know if that works better. So we're gonna do that now. Okay, Pastor, I apologize for the interruption, but what you have to say is too important for it not to be heard or for it to be difficulty, in doing so. The devil is a lie.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, no echo.
Okay. So I was in school, right? Yes, that's where I was. So they gave me an opportunity to go to Voorhees College. At the time, they was allowing anybody that had a high school diploma to go to college. But what they did, they had an entrance exam. And if you didn't score a certain number, you would be in Excel courses. So when I took the test and it was time for me to start college, I started in all Excel courses, and my first semester was only PE and orientation. But I was determined that I was going to finish because I realized that our Creator, he's a finisher. And now he made us in his image, so we can't do nothing but finish. And the only way we don't finish, God can't be in it. But I had to finish so I could write a book. I had to finish so I could be on this talk show. I had to finish so that somebody out there that is at the point of quitting, giving up, walking away, I come to tell you, you are a finisher. Yes, I failed. And the class I failed was religion, and now I'm a preacher. I just can't, I just don't know it. But the whole time I would stay out all night selling dope, making sure people had dope. But I never miss a class, and I never miss an assignment, and I never miss going to tutoring, because the only thing I know is my only purpose for being at Voorhees was to get a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. And I wasn't going to let nobody stop me. There wasn't enough drugs to make me stop me. I was determined that I was going to graduate. And I was so determined to, when I got in literature, the vice president of Voorhees at the time had a right hand, and she was a teacher. And she said, they got to be social passing Benny. Say, but I know he can't read all that. So I'm going to teach this class because I know he's not going to pass. And I was going there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So they would give us like 100 and some pages to read. Now, knowing that I had a reading problem, they know I had a problem. But they was just giving me an opportunity just like they gave everybody else. But eventually they'll quit. But they just didn't know that God that I had on the inside. They didn't know that there was a God worked for my latter, my ending. And he know on October the 12th, 2022, I had to have a degree. There's nothing. So I got to make the way for this man to get it. So what I would do is I would, when I had them 100 and some pages, I was told by my sister, say, go to the library, because she graduated, so she wasn't there to help me. But she said, Benny, go to the library. And they got a book called The Master Plot. And where it's 100 and some pages, they put it to about 30 pages. And I would go and I find a young man or young lady and get them an 18-pack, a case of beer and some liquor. And I say, this is yours when you read this. And when they finish reading it, I would stay up all night listening to it. So when I go to class, I would talk about it so much. And the ones that I know, the characters that I just liked what they was doing, and I just knew how to talk about them, the teacher she would say, stop talking, let somebody else talk. And then when she would read me my questions for the test, it might be a question I couldn't answer. But she said, you answer that in class, I ain't gonna worry about that. And don't you not end up getting an A or B out of her class? I said, when did you social pass me?
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So they said this man got a way of getting this thing, and we don't understand it because he's the smartest one in the class. He come ready to talk. And I feel though I want to talk first so I can go ahead and convince you I know what's going on. And I want you to, then I had a English proficiency exam to take. And with English proficiency, it's an introduction, a thesis, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. They say, he can talk, but he can't write. He can't read. If he can't read good, he can't write good. But they didn't realize that all we had to do, I didn't care what the subject was. I didn't care what I had to write in English class. I didn't care what 3 topics they had. The only thing I always say, people have different feelings about how they feel about blank. Most people feel so-and-so. Some people feel this. Then I say, I feel blank, blank, and blank. And that's my 3 paragraphs with them 3 blanks. And I write them 3, and a paragraph is nothing but 5 to 7 sentences. And then when I got to the end, I said, I can't spell in conclusion. I just sitting there and I just know that God didn't bring me this far to leave me. Then after a while, THEREFORE. And I restated my thesis. And 5 people read it, 3 went on ahead and passed it and said he's graduated. And I marched across that stage. And the wonderful thing about it is I didn't have the highest GPA. I didn't have the highest grade point average. But what I did have, the same thing was on her degree was on mine. Bennie Davis successfully completed all the qualifications to have a Bachelor of Science degree in masters.
Amen. Oh my God.
So I did graduate from Voorhees College, but I got so much help with tutoring. They put the people around you. They gave you the opportunity. It's just up to you what you want out of life. But no matter how, and I partied every night. Homecoming night, the homecoming week, we partied. I used to could jump on the floor and do the snake and everything else. But I didn't forget my purpose. Right. And I never got high. I never got high because I said, I want to be in control of everything around me. And I never got high, but I sold that dope. I sold that raw powder. We call it the white girl in the book. And I didn't put no cut in it. I wanted the nose to bleed. I remember somebody was smoking my Bombay Z or my chocolate tie. They smoked so much we had to rush them to the hospital. They put all kind of things on them, and they thought it was dying. And then took the urine test, blood test, and it came back full of reefer. They started popping up. Man, get up out of here. You just good and high. So that's why they was calling caveman, because I gave more dope and I gave it raw. I sold crack. It was, they call it the parquet. You know, I sold the biggest pieces of crack. I didn't care if you smoke crack or sell crack. If an ounce was $1,400, you gave me 14, you got the ounce, period. I don't care what you do with it. All I want to do is turn this dope into money. That's it.
Simple as that.
Now,
I said, simple as that. It was as simple as that.
Simple. I just wanted to make that money. I just wanted to make that money. And I remember in Denmark, the chief of police got with this fella and said, "We want you to set Caveman up." Said, because he trusts you. And, well, the man got in trouble, and they said, "We can let you out if you set somebody up." So he agreed to do that. And he said, "We want you to go and set Caveman up." He said, I'd rather go on here to court. They said, "Wait a minute, why you rather go to court?" Say, "He don't treat me like I'm a crackhead. He treats me like a person. And when I go to him, he talked to me like a person." And I found out if you treat people the way you want to be treated, that's how they'll treat you. And I never had any problem with none of them. And because of the fact I wanted to, yes, I wanted their money, but I didn't want them to think I hated them. I look at them just like I treat myself. I want the best deal that I could get. And that's what I was doing. I just sold that dope. I love selling that dope. Yes, that dope. And that's why I say to anybody that the only one can take that away is God. If God don't take it away, and you know how these lying Christians say, "I had a miserable life of sin, a miserable life of sin." I say that's a lie. I had a wonderful life of sin. You know, I had a wonderful life of sin. I didn't want to leave it. I got shot up and still went back out there to tell. So don't tell me this is a miserable life. You need to quit lying. I just looked at them and I said, "Lord, have mercy. This is not a lying in church." They might be still sinning. That's probably why they're saying it for me. I don't know. But you know, I was but one day what happened is, you know, people will be jealous of you and you're still helping them. It's just like Joseph. God showed Joseph where he was going to take him at. But when you're in the process of going where God wants you to go, when you tell somebody, they're going to stop you. Because see, if I ask you all right now, if I ask either one of y'all to tell me what you see, if I say, "Tell me 4 things you see," you'll tell me 4 things. For instance, tell me 4 things you see, young lady, right here on this side. On the YouTube. Tell me 4 things you see in your studio right now.
Okay, I see the lamp behind your head. I see the crown on and behind Peggy. I see the clock. I see her curtain. I see the letter B on me.
We see the live. We see the stuff on your t-shirt.
Okay. No. Watch this. Out of everything you see, you'll never see yourself. But the people that's around you see your greatness, and that's why they want to stop you from.
All right.
So you need to know who you are before you even start looking around.
Wow. Now that's awesome right there. That's awesome right there.
And that's awesome right there. That's awesome right there. Michael Beatty is in the virtual building with us. He said, "Talk that thing, doctor." Let him know, doctor, doctor.
Oh yeah. So we and so what happened? Jealousy came. In the book, we had to use other people's name because since I started writing the book, I would tell the person name that did whatever they did. I've already been threatened by family members saying, um, my people didn't do this. My cousin didn't do this. How can you tell me they didn't do it when I was walking out of the game room and I went directly to that person that set up the drug deal for me? And I said, yo, man, come with me. He said, no, you can handle it. I didn't know these people. He set the drug deal up because there was no drugs in Marion. And I'm thinking I'm about to just go and pay for this dope and go on about my business. But within that hour, you know, I was knocking on this door and I said, oh, nobody in here. I said, well, I guess we got to go. And I walked off the step and the man came with the 9mm and put it to my head. And I believe that's when God released that no-name angel and said, see about my son. And when that gun got heavy and it came down and it came to my chest, when he could have just shot me in the chest and killed me. And he came on down and he said, give me the money. I had about $3 grand on me. And I gave him the money. I said, you can go ahead and take the money and leave. And you know, the thing what people don't understand, when you're looking at that gun pointed at your legs, not knowing what they're gonna do, and you see that fire coming out of that barrel of that gun, and then that fire, after they come out of that barrel of that gun, you hear it tearing your flesh from your body. You feel that bullet just going throughout your body, and you just hollering, and all you're doing is seeing them pulling the trigger, pow, pow, and the fire, and all I was doing. And when I finished, I was able to put my you remember when, so let me put my nail print, and I was able to put the bottom of my finger in the holes, and I said, if I do that, it'll stop the bleeding, and the bleeding just continue to gush out. I said, I got to get from back here. And I was walking, and all I did is saw myself go down. I felt, it was like smelling a smell a pain that I never felt before. And I was just hollering, and I collapsed. And to this day here, I don't know how I got across that road, but they say when the burdens get too heavy. That's why I know God will give you more than you can bear. Because see, when he give you more than you can bear, then you can't do nothing but depend on him then. And I don't know how, but all I know is I found myself across that 501, and I saw a big truck coming, and I just said, I can roll out in that road and let that truck just hit me. I won't hurt no more. But God let me collapse. When I came back through, it was my Uncle Sam. And back then they didn't have cell phones. And he said, I'm gonna go get some help. And this man and his wife came, Ricky and his wife came, and I just say, blow breath until just blow in the midst to help come. And when they got me to the emergency room, I lost so much blood. They went on here and first they told my mother she couldn't see me. They was doing all they can to save my life. Then when they realized that I was gonna die, they said, come see your mom, come see your son before he died. And I knew, even on my deathbed, I knew I couldn't lie. I didn't say I was going to be saved, Mama. I said, my mama do things a little different if I get out of here. Because I still didn't want to come to Christ. That was me. You ever heard in the Bible where they say, don't quench the spirit? Quenching the spirit is when God is calling you to a ministry, calling you to do a job for him, and you choose not to. You quenching that because you know it's God. You know a calling is on your life, but you just determined that you're not going to do. And I want you to know. I want you to know today that every doctor that said to my mother that I was going to die, they already rotting in their grave, and I'm still here. They caught gangrene in my right leg. They told my mother they're going to have to amputate my right leg from my hip down. But they gave us one more night. And it's something about when you just go ahead and give God thanks. And my mother prayed and we prayed. And when they came at me early that morning. And when they took me in the emergency room, they got ready to amputate the leg. They said, let's look and see where the gangrene is at. And they looked in my thigh and they couldn't find it. But yesterday it was there. I just want somebody to know that there's a tomorrow coming for you. But you got to go ahead and give God praise for today. You got to give God a praise for what he's done this for. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I know he can do it. And then when they got to my knee, they couldn't find it. And when they got under my knee, they found the gangrene. They said, well, we're going to cut all the cells out of it right now, just leave a hole there. And my mother, and I remember telling my sisters, they used to take the patches out and you could see the nerves and all that jumping in the leg. And I used to tell them they had them little cameras in. I said, please take my picture, take it. I said, because one day I'm going to write a book about this. They didn't take that picture, but that book is written in that. Oh my God, y'all ain't ready for that. Yeah. So all they did was grab some skin. And I got the picture on the front of my book of how my leg looked like, still open. And it just got grafted skin. And where them things left, they cut out of my leg. God put it back in my leg.
Oh, wow.
And he got it where every time I look at my leg and I wash my leg out, it just reminds me that God loves me. It reminds me to let another drug dealer know it's only two things that can happen: prison or death. There's no in between.
There's no in
So
between.
you make your decision on which one where you want to go. But if you turn your life to God now and you surrender to God, he'll take that desire from you and you won't have to go through what I've been through. Because you may die going through an example, but God made it possible for me to live so someone else can read about it or hear about it on Raw Talk tonight, that they can make it. And I promise you to make it. And now, what got me, this is why it's in my book. If you go to the sheriff department in Marion right now, they don't even have it listed that I was ever shot. Because I was a drug dealer and a black man. And my life wasn't nothing to them. Because if it was, they'd have found the person who did this to me. They never looked for it. They never asked they never investigated, nothing. It was just like September the 8th, 1995 never happened. That's why I got on the front of my shirt today. When I was writing my book, I put on Facebook and I went to people that's in Marion, people that know me. And I know that someone in their family was killed because of gun violence. But because I'm Bennie and I don't have the money or the resources that everybody else have, they felt though that I wasn't good enough to put their child name in my book. But only two people say, we'll do it. And they wrote a paragraph. And I gave them a whole page. And I said, just write something about it. And the young man is Dashamel Prince Drayton and Raymond Christopher White III. He got murdered and he got killed by gun violence in 1998. And there was and his sister Patricia Davis told about how justice was never served because it was about 4 or 5 of them went in the house. And when it was time to go to court, the 2 brothers wouldn't tell on them. And they freed them and gave the 2 brothers double life. And it just happened when we was interviewing Patricia Davis about her brother, and he was, I believe, 27 years old, and it was about 24 years ago. All of that is on this shirt here. But what she said was her and her mother was at this flea market in Florence, and there was exiting the building, you know. And while they was exiting the building, I don't know if it was one or two or three, all three of them, but the guys that killed her son was walking towards them. And her mother started just shaking. And she just braced her mother and said, God got us. He'll take care of us. And the night, that's why I got this shirt on to let you know that we fighting against gun violence here in Marion. And I'm gonna do everything I can. And I got those two names and the day they born. Dashamir, June the 5th, 1994. And he died January the 21st, 2018. He was 23. Raymond Christopher White the third, he born November the 6th, 1971, and died April the 11th. And he was 27 years old. That was 1998. So that's what we're doing with that. But I am a survivor of gun violence.
You are a survivor of many things. Yeah.
Yeah. So see, sometimes people want to look at who you are and just say you are unqualified. The thing about it, they were right. But they didn't know that God, when I started that Bible college, they didn't know that God was going to send a Dr. Thomas there that retired in English. They didn't know that God was going to send, I call her Dr. V, that know English. They didn't know that God was going to send Sister Tricia from DSS. And she said, I'll help you, Benny. And we all worked together. And now, at the end, the young lady, I can't say that name, but her name Lisa S. McNeil. She went through it, and when we met, Miss didn't get a couple of words right. She got the best she could right. And now the book is ready. And I know it's going to be the best seller. And I know that those same parents, those same grandmothers, those same uncles, them daddies, that wouldn't allow me to put their child name or their nephew name in there. When they see this book, they're going to realize that God wanted to bless them through a no-name author to get their child out and let them know that their life was worth living. And somebody could have learned something from that. But that's the story. But what I want to get you with is they never looked for the young man who shot me. They never even considered it. But you know what got me? After I got out of the hospital and my life started turning around, and I was in Indiana giving my testimony about what happened. I came back to Maryland, and my mama said, Benny, you got to go turn yourself into the city. Police, they got a charge on the distribution of crack cocaine. My life wasn't worth them finding the man that attempted murder on my life. But because somebody, a crackhead, a young man that smoked crack, said I sold him a slab of dope, that's worth me going to jail and serving the next 20 years. But somebody attempted murder on my life wasn't good enough for that because I'm a black man and because I was a drug dealer.
And that story is true for a lot of other black men today. Sean Wright, one of our original Raw Talkers, is in the building with us tonight, and he's asking you, did you ever want revenge? Did you have a feeling, a spirit of revenge in your heart after you had been shot?
No, let me tell you what I found out. And it's in the book. I remember all of these fellas selling drugs for me. And I went and put my dope up, and they knew where I put it at. And when I went to get the dope, it was gone. And I owe these fellas close to $30,000, over $20,000. I could have went out there and called myself gonna get somebody to kill him. I could have went and killed him. And somebody went to prison. But I realized that the only thing I can't get back is life. Anything else, I can get it back. And I had my sister to call the fellas we was getting the dope from. And we start off with about, let's say, $2,000. And I had my sister to call him and say, K-Man won't give me no good deal on some dope. And I got to buy some dope. I got 24. Can you work with me? And they thought my sister was the finest thing going, and they was going to be a man. And so they came in there and they bought her. I believe they bought her 3 ounces. They give her something extra, and then they say, you keep you 500. We'll take this here, not knowing my sister knew we got to pay this money. She gave me the 500. She gave me the dope. I got it cut up. We sold it. Then we took the 500 they got and the money we made and bought some more dope. And they did the same thing. And then by the end of that, we paid them all their money back. Now, I could have got someone to kill them and we could have been in prison for the rest of our life. What I'm saying, when you out there selling drugs, you got to realize there's going to be gains and they're going to be losses. You're going to lose more than you gain. So if you're not ready to deal with that selling drugs isn't for you. So you see what I'm saying? So that's why I believe so I didn't have no I just believe that as long as I'm alive, I can live with that. I can't live with somebody that I don't know. See, to know you walking around a town and you don't know who shot you. You know the shape of him, because all I did is I got in the back of the car and I couldn't see him. He stayed. But, I just thought it was a good deal because of the fact that my friends say he's a good man. So I wasn't looking at him to see how he looked and all this. But when that bullet came, he could have killed me. Could have shot me in my head. But God still had a purpose for me. God still had a job for me. He had a book that had to be written, and I'm the only one could have wrote it. And just so I want to tell you some of the good hot stuff. All of it is hot in the book, but this is some of the hot stuff. This is something after I got myself together, because I thought that would be a good enough book right there. But see, it wasn't time yet. Because see, what happened is I always said I wanted to run for mayor of Maryland, because I feel though until, and see that people just don't understand this. If you really want to get a job done, get someone that's on the same floor that you are on. We're always picking people way up there where we are not at yet. And whenever they do things, it's only to help the people up there, the 4%. But if we elect someone in the 96%, when I make things good for Benny, I'm gonna make it good for everybody on Benny's level. They don't. I remember they saying, "We want money." Money. I said, that's the problem. When they pay you to go out there and get them votes, and they win, when you come for a favor, they're gonna say, "I paid you for what you did. I don't owe you nothing." But if you go out there and make Benny your mayor, that means you work for me. You work to get me in. Now for the next 4 years, I got to work for you, because I didn't pay you nothing. You wanted a better life. They didn't want that. So what I did is I went and got a pardon. The late Mayor Bobby Gerald, he wrote a letter for me. Not just that, I didn't even have the money to pay for it. And this is the truth. The former Mayor Bobby Gerald, and he's a white man, he gave me the money to get it. And he said, "I'm going to teach you and I'm going to show you the things you need to do to be a mayor." Even if he didn't mean it, he did it. I believe he meant it because he showed action. He passed away before I ever went before this committee. And when I went before that committee, they said, for Mayor Bobby Gerald to write this letter, you must be meant something to him. And I want you to know, I got that pardon and I ran for that mayor. But what they did, and this is a matter of fact, it's in the book. I'm talking about God blessed me to become a pastor at St. Matthew Missionary Baptist Church. Nobody knew nothing about no St. Matthew. But I went there excited and people started coming and people hated that. They arrested me and my mama for beating a child abuse. The child gonna say, I hit him 50 times. No, my mama hit him 50 times with a cane. And I hit him 20 times with a wet towel, drug him on the carpet, slammed him in the bathroom, all of this. And he went to school the next day. But what gets me, you got to get the book because the officer name is in the book. A black man, I call a non-emergency number. It's public information. And this black man, and he's in the church, and he's a minister, he's a high office in the church, and he came and looked at the fella, talked to the fella, and the fella looked at him and said to him, they got you to come out here on me, but wait till I get them back. This is a black man and a white woman on the sheriff department. She had one of her co-workers to come and tell me and my mama, we need to turn ourselves in the next morning by 10 o'clock, or she's sending the sheriffs at us. Now, isn't it something whenever me and my mama turned ourselves in, she was 6 or 7 years old, and they put her in the center, and then they put me in a holding cell, and I'm looking out of a little block at my mama crying, saying I never did nothing to deserve this, and she just crying because it hurting her so bad. But this police officer never asked me or my mama questions or nothing, never spoke to us. But we was two black people that I believe that she just said, they're gonna plead guilty and be done with. But she didn't know that I'm a finisher. She didn't know I am a fighter. She didn't know I'm a survivor. And I'm not gonna let nobody take me down for something that I didn't do. That wasn't good enough for her. How many times you seen the same officer and a white lady gonna come back after I become the pastor of St. Matthew, gonna come back and they impound my car for pocketbooks. They're selling pocketbooks everywhere. But because I was selling them, it was a big crime. That's it, Lord that was. But they didn't want me to run for mayor. So they had my car impounded. So it was something that I wanted to go through doing Bible study. So I said, I want to come get my stuff out the car, my Bible stuff. They said, okay. So they said, go in there and sit down, Bennie, and we're going to get the key. I said, okay. And a white sheriff came and said, are you Bennie Davis? I said, yes. He said, please stand. Prior to this now, the same black man that came to my mother's house was the same black man looked at me. But I'm gonna wait and tell you what they arrested for. But he told me what was going on. I said, you got the wrong one. You know, I ain't do no foolishness like that. But when they told me to stand up, they said, is you Bennie Davis? I said, yes. He said, you have the right to remain silent. I said, right to remain silent for what? He said, you're being arrested for rape.
Arrested for what?
Rape, attempted rape. But now, this is why you got to get the book. The same sheriff, the white woman sent to the restaurant to tell me and my mama to turn ourselves in the next morning. This rape supposed to have took place at his place. And she never asked him. She never asked.
Wow.
Never. And when they arrested me, they said, she's going to come and talk to you. I said, okay. Guess what lie she told? She said, the reason why I didn't go and talk to Bennie is because he had a lawyer. This is in the book. How in the name of God I'm going to have a lawyer? And I'm going to have a lawyer say, hey, you know something, Thurman? What that, Bennie? When I go to the jailhouse, I'm going to get arrested for rape, and I need to hire you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Anytime, yeah.
But they will say anything, and everybody will believe it. I know I didn't do it. She know I didn't do it. But I'm just a black man. And in my book, I said, if a black man would have arrested a white woman and their autistic son, epilepsy son, someone rehabilitated, they would have been fired from their job. She still got her job. She still got everything she had when she arrested me. No justice because I'm a black man. That's the only thing I can see. But I promise you that black man or that black woman wouldn't still have their job. And the thing is in the book. Instead of them coming saying this didn't happen, it was a Saturday, and they faxed Thurman Brooker and say, tell your client, Bennie Davis, he don't have to come back to court because all charges been dropped after 2.5 years. It's in the book. It's more in detail in the book. Even down to the fact the lawyer Thurman Brooker, he had a little briefcase, and when we had a jury trial, and let's say first Thurman I say, well, ma'am, said where the pictures at of all the bruises? We didn't take them. Said we're gonna say he had 4 bruises on his shoulder. Thurman Brooker went and attorney Thurman Brooker went and stood in front of the lawyer, the judge, and took his right hand and put the belt in his right hand. And said this young man went in the bathroom before school got out. Because remember, he stayed in school all day. Nobody see no whips, nobody seen nothing. And he went in the bathroom and he took the belt off, put it in his right hand, and went across his left shoulder about 3 or 4 times and put a couple of whips, and then went on in there and said they did it. But then they're not looking at my mama supposed to hit him 50 times. I hit him 50 times with a cane, and I supposed to hit him 20 times with a wet towel, then drug him, and then I went and took a picture in the bathroom, and I'm the only one that fit in the bathroom. So how I slammed him. But they still kept me there 2.5 years because they didn't want me to run for mayor. The mayor that was there didn't want me to run. But if he'd have left me alone, he'd stay right down there in Annie, St. Matthew, I'd have never come back to that. But since he brought me back, I said, if I don't be the mayor, you won't be the mayor. I promise you he's not the mayor. We ain't going for that. And today I have Saturday, we had the biggest graduation class in the Christ Temple Bible Institute. We had about 19 graduate, and out of the 19, about 14 of them got 2 degrees because we average 25 credits each semester sometimes. And we have 4 credits, and we have enough time to get 2 degrees. And we work hard. And I'm telling you, and right now to this day, the last time whenever I ran for mayor, I got all that in there where I was telling them what I knew that they was doing, and everything I told the people that was going to happen, it happened. And they know I told them. And it's in the book. No, I know what you see. You got to get the book. But I'm going to tell you what, you got to get the book. Because after I finished writing the book, I started thinking about my 3 children. They all of them grown now. And I started to ask myself, wonder what they did when all this was going on about their dad, and people knew that I was their dad. How did they feel? You know, people looking at them saying, your dad ain't rapist. And my daughter called just before I ran for mayor this last time. Let me tell y'all what happened. And it's in the book. Oh my God, it's in the book. Y'all got to get the book.
There's so much good stuff in the book. It is so juicy.
Oh, wait, this is going to be a juicy one for you. Somebody paid a black woman to go on social media and say I was trying to make sexual advance towards her 11-year-old daughter on Facebook.
Wow.
And I got it in the book. And the only thing I wrote, because I thought I was going to finish the book then, because it took me 2.5 years to write this book. So I was thinking I was about finished, so I wanted to get 5,000 friends. Well, the people failed to realize I could become that friend until they accept it. And that was at 5:32 a.m. and I'm up writing. So all I did is text her back and say, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope your day be as wonderful as you look. That was it. Do you know people that sold drugs for me say he always been a pedophile? Say he walking around here with that wooden leg dragging. Yes, all he is a rapist. He needs to be in jail. His ASS needs to be in jail. I mean, all of that. But what they forgot is the mother didn't delete that. And anything on social media, you can put it in the book. So everybody who wrote something, they're in the book.
Whoa.
And you can read what they say and look at their name. That's why I love to say, if it wasn't for them doing me wrong, I wouldn't be on Raw Talk talking about that book tonight.
Well, Pastor,
we are so honored.
We are so honored. And folks want to know where your church is. You got to, rep your city and your church because they want to come visit.
Okay, let me say one more thing about that book. I'm finished. Because of the woman bringing charges on us. See, the devil knows what the future is because remember, he was in heaven. He was the highest angel.
Mm-hmm.
The devil knew 27 years later I was going to write a book. But the devil don't desire. He don't desire the people that this book going to help. He don't want them to ever get it. So when they ask me to come and talk about it and tell them things that happened to me, what the devil did was, when they used that woman to bring them charges, DSS brought charges. We went to court and was not found not guilty in the court of law. But DSS come back and say you guilty. So now where I could go and help these kids that might be on drugs, selling drugs, out there doing something, or might be having a reading problem, and they don't think they can go to school. Because of the charges DSS has on me and my mother now. My mother never be able to have foster kids in her house. And I can never work with DSS workers, kids anymore. Because the devil knew. And someone said, well, Pastor Bennie, how did you write a book and you still got a reading problem? God wants us to be entrepreneurs. And God gave a man the idea to make a cell phone. And then God gave somebody the idea to put a mic in the cell phone. And every time for 2.5 years, I talked into the cell phone, it wrote it out for me. And when Pastor Bennie gets to a point she don't understand, she'll call me and read it to me, and I'll break it down to her. But the book is written, I promise you that. The book is written. But y'all got to get the book. You got to get the book. I mean, I got some juicy stuff in that book. Now, see, once you get the book, we can call them names like we want to. I'm telling you, I coach basketball. I got fired from the high school basketball, and nobody never told me why they fired. Man, y'all better get that book.
We better get that book. Hurry up, get that book. You can pre-order. You can pre-order Tell All I'm Not That Way Anymore by Pastor Dr. Bennie T. Davis Sr. by going to Amazon.com. Get your pre-order of the book now because it's going to bless your soul. And Christmas is coming up. Get the book for somebody you know as a gift. You know, yeah.
Because this is a testimony.
I'm going to put somebody's name up on my Facebook after this program that's looking at it. Somebody getting their name right now that shared it to somebody. And we're going to give them the first free book. And when the book comes, we're going to, if they're not married, we're going to mail it to them. And I'm going to autograph the book. And I'm willing to go any place and talk. And I want you to know, when you did all this to me, you took everything from me. Where I was over PTI and took PTI from me. And they said, Benny, we're going to give it back to you if you prove not guilty. But they believed that I was going to be proven guilty. And when I was proven not guilty and went over there, they said, we got 2 people. And then I know people going over there making up a name PTI, and they are not even doing it. And they're signing their own paperwork. But they didn't want to stop me because they thought I was going to prison. Even to the fact in the book, when I started my Bible college in 2016, I went to a preacher in Maryland, someone that I had trust, someone that I believed was going to help me. And I said, I want to start a Bible college. They said, why you want to start a Bible college and you're on your way to prison? So you need to just be getting your house in order and get your ducks in a row. What you going to do with that building and what you going to do with the rest of your life and tell your people goodbye because you're going to prison. And this was a preacher that's preaching. And matter of fact, also in my book, when I used to run stitches, I had a preacher to come and get private dances with the strippers. Oh Lord, y'all better get that book. Y'all better get that book. Y'all better get that book.
Listen, I just have two quick questions for you.
Okay.
That I just need to know. Now, when you started school and before you went to college, you kept saying that you kept stating to yourself that I will graduate, I will go to school, I'm going to college. Where was your foundation? I hear that through you talking that your mom and dad was a man and woman of God. Did they have you in church every Sunday? Is that where you got your foundation for it? Is that how you knew to speak life into yourself?
This is what I know for a fact. Right now, if somebody's going to speak about either one of you right now, and they talk about your parents, they're going to say, you know, your mama has shoes, you're going to have shoes. Notice how people will always take your parents and just take the negative and put it on you.
Right.
But why can't you take the positive? My daddy graduated, why I can't graduate? That's the same blood in me. My mama was determined. She had a doctorate degree in raising her children. All 3 of us graduated from high school. So if I got that determination and I got the right blood in me, because do you not know that for me to accomplish what I did accomplish, that man had to be my daddy and that woman had to be my mama. And for y'all to be who y'all are today, that's why y'all got the parents y'all got. Because if you had any other parent, you wouldn't be who you are today. But we get so brainwashed that we got to accept the negative part of our parents. Why we can't accept the positive parts of our parents? And the one thing you're going to do in this life, you're going to encourage yourself. I remember when I started writing this book, people laughed at me. People out of the class 87 laughed at me. My friends laughed at me. The people in the church laughed at me. When did they laugh at now?
Right. So what you're saying is instead of talking about the generational curses, talk about the generational blessings that's being passed down.
Because see, guess what, young lady? The more you talk about the generational curses, the more life you give to yourself. Because you are accepting it. I'm doing this because it's a generational curse. Well, won't you stop the curse?
Right. Talk
and
about
the first thing, stop talking about it.
Right. And another thing I wanted to know, when you said you were shot and you didn't know how you got across the road, is that the same thing that we hear footsteps in the sand when we thought there was 2 pairs of footsteps, but it was only one because God was carrying me? Do you believe that God carried you from where you were and got you out to where you could get some help?
Listen, you ever read Ezekiel before? Ezekiel was running from 180,000 soldiers wanted him dead. But God didn't get Michael. God got a no-name angel and said, go tend to that problem. He put Ezekiel to sleep just like he did Adam. But when Ezekiel woke up, it was 185 dead soldiers. I only had one problem. You don't think you can handle that? Talk to me, baby. Come on, we get deep in here. We get deep in here. Come on.
We get deep. Homework assignment. Everybody go read Ezekiel tonight. You skipped over Ezekiel because you couldn't pronounce his name. Go back. Go back and read it.
Talk to me, somebody. I meant Hezekiah. His name is Hezekiah. You remember Hezekiah? Right after God did that, that's when that sickness came. And he turned his face to the wall. And the window was pointed towards Jerusalem. And Jerusalem was the headquarters. Jerusalem was God answered prayer and peace. And when he turned his head to the wall, he said, Lord, angel, take my prayer to Jerusalem. By the time Isaac, the prophet Isaiah, to get out the court gate, God said, turn around and go tell him I just had 15 more years to his life. And when he was saying, get your house in order, he was saying, get your business right. And then sometimes we stay in stuff too long because, see, Hezekiah lost his mind in those 15 years. It'd been better if he had died then. But see, that same prayer he sent up when 185,000 soldiers was out there, he said that same prayer when the man of God said, get your house in order.
Right now.
Wow. And so, Pastor, tell us where you are. Because I think somebody gonna set up a bus trip or they gonna caravan.
Tell them I'll come to them. Tell them I'll come with my books and all. I can get more people if I come to them. If I come to them, oh my God, don't worry, we'll have a good time. But the church is 1828 Senator Gaston Road, Marion, South Carolina.
Wow.
And I did put at the end of my book, don't ask no questions. I'm going to run from men until I win because I am a finisher. And that's the bottom line.
Know that. Would you give out your email address? Would you give a means of contacting you?
It's Pastor Davis 1967 at gmail.com.
That's right.
Oh, it's there. It's there. It's there. Woo! And you know that not one preacher voted for me when I ran for mayor?
What?
Do you know that not one person would stand up and say, I support Bennie Davis? But it was one lady. It was one lady. I hope she's on here now. Her name is Angie. I know it. I love it. Gillett. Not Gillett, but Gunner. Angie Gunner. And she already said she buying 2 books. She just loved the way, because she just believed in me. And she believed what I was doing. But the ones that I worked with, the ones that knew me personally, they would go around behind my back and tell people, I'm not going to vote for him, not knowing that I was talking to somebody that respected me as who I was. And they'll come back and tell me, they say, they ain't voting for you. I said, that's all right. I said, I don't have no money. But I said, this time I have some money because we got the best-selling book. I will be the next mayor man. That's my goal. I had that when I was selling drugs and I stopped selling drugs. I said, I'm going to be the first black mayor. But we already had the first black mayor. So I can only be the first orange, good-looking mayor.
That's so funny. One more time, Pastor.
We're going to get this here. I promise you that.
One more time. Give us the address for the church one more time, and we've got your email up so folks can email you.
Okay, it's 1828 Senator Gaston Road.
How do you spell? Is it senator? What are you saying, senator?
Like a senator.
Okay.
Then Gaston. I'm out to send it to the undercover.
Is it how do you spell Gaston? How are you spelling that?
Oh God! Didn't I just tell you I couldn't read?
Oh yeah, you know what?
Yeah, wait a minute! Don't worry. My sister's gonna tell you how to spell Anisha.
K-I-N-S.
Huh? Q-U-E.
Oh, Q-U-E. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the number again?
1828.
1828.
28 Senator Gaston Road. Now you think that's something? It's gonna be something November the 12th. It's gonna be my birthday and my book release. You know, I got to be on live. I got to get a new suit for that day now. I got to be there. Oh my God, I got my hands down there. And y'all know, I went and bought this hat just for y'all.
Okay.
Where? Do it now.
All right.
No, and my number is 843-260-7196. I want them to know they can be in touch with me. I want to come to them. I will come to them. And I'm just determined that I'm not going to let nobody stop. And if you get that determination, it's nothing you can't do in life. And when you find people telling you you can't do it, the reason why, because they see greatness in you. They know you're going to. See, the reason why they put Joseph in that pit, because when he told them what God showed him, they knew it was going to happen. Why do you think they killed Martin Luther King? Because he had a dream. They thought when they killed him, they thought they stopped the dream. But they stopped the dream, but they didn't stop the dream. Martin Luther King did more dead than he ever did alive. If he'd have lived, they wouldn't have had no day. They wouldn't have had a day set aside for Martin Luther King. He did more dead than he did alive.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna do a lot of live. I'm gonna do a lot, and we're gonna make it. And I pray to you all, because let me tell you something now. Let me tell you why I believe that this program is gonna make it. Because you could have took any of them reasons and never started this program. But you say, I'm gonna start it because see, God put it in your heart. And what God gonna do is put people in your pathway to help you. But if you never get started, you will never get the blessing that God has for you.
Amen. I receive that.
And the people that don't understand it, the reason why I don't understand it, because that's not what God gave Benny to do. He gave it to y'all to do it. And y'all do it, and y'all just be thankful for who's with you. And go from that. Because if you keep on worrying about who is to come, you'd have never got started.
That's right.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Okay. All right. Oh, thank you to Never to Praise of Maxwell. Greater Christ Temple, 1828 Senator Gasket. Oh, okay. I spelled it wrong. It has a T on it. All right. So there you go. There's the address for the church, and there is the phone number. We're going to leave that there and give you all an opportunity to write that down and to be able to reach out to Pastor Davis, you know, for your men's day, for your women's day, for your day.
Any day. Oh, you know, I had a class, a homosexual class last quarter, right? And a man came to me and said, how do you feel about homosexuals coming to the church? I say, I want you to know that they got a soul just like everybody else. But this is the question. Since you so against homosexuals, how about the homosexuals work on your job? How can you work with them? I said, how about if you have a child that you got to work with through DSS and they're homosexual? Are you going to tell them you're not going to work with them and get fired, or are you going to work with them? Now, if you're going to work for the money, not for Jesus, then you got a problem. Because you're going to work with, because homosexual is homosexual.
Yeah.
You want to get paid to work for them, but you don't want to pay Jesus. You don't want to let them know the wages of sin is death and the gift of God is eternal life. If we stop putting them down and remind them that every woman is a queen and every man is a king, and talk about who they are and not what they think they are, we can do something about it. But we got to realize the government is fighting against us now, because we got to fight running for president. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, we got all this here going on. We got them everywhere now. But guess what? That don't mean you have to accept them like that. You still got to look at them and say, there's a change in you. Because I share this with you, and this was going to be. When Paul was preaching, a young boy was in the wilderness sitting, and he fell 3 stories. You ever heard somebody say, once you fall from grace, you never get back up there again? Then when he fell, they say he broke his neck, and he died. Paul stopped preaching and walked down them 3 flights of steps. And when Paul grabbed him, Paul whispered in his ear, "You didn't do nearly what I've done. You still alive." Guess what? That man woke up. After that little boy woke up, the young man, Paul picked him up and said, "Let me take you back where you fell from." And he walked them back up 3 stories. So I want somebody to know, if you fell from grace, all you got to do is wake back up and go back up to that same point. Don't let nobody tell you you can't go back. Matter of fact, go higher than when you fell from.
Yeah. Repentance is the way, I believe.
That is absolutely awesome.
That's beautiful.
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
I enjoy being here tonight. I tell y'all that. I enjoy being
Listen,
here. Having you.
We enjoyed you immensely. We are grateful for all of the friends that you brought with you tonight. Yes. And we see great things from you, and we love to talk to you again. Once the book hits on November 12th, remember that you can pre-order Tell All I'm Not That Way Anymore by going to Amazon.com and pre-ordering the book. We want it to be the largest ever pre-order that Amazon has ever seen in their history of books being pre-ordered.
Yes,
you're not going to be able to keep up. The production is going to have to go into overtime.
Yes. Ooh,
okay. Overtime, absolutely overtime. And so, Pastor, we thank you. Love and blessings to everybody who joined us in the chat. It was awesome, wasn't it, girlfriend Peggy?
Yes, it was. It was so fabulous.
So fabulous. So fabulous. Awesome. So we thank you all. We want you to have a wonderful rest of your evening, a blessed rest of your life. Make sure that you please honor us by taking the time to go to YouTube. Some of you are on YouTube, some of you are on Facebook, but please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share. We'd appreciate it greatly. Come back, reach out to us with your story, everything. We just we would just love to have you as part of the Raw Talk family. And everyone wants you to know, Steph is letting you know that she's only 16 minutes away from your city. She's going to be coming to see you. And she said that she definitely enjoyed you and we got to get you back.
Okay.
Okay.
I will be happy to come back.
Yes. Awesome word. Just an awesome, powerful, inspirational word from you tonight. Yes, and I would say that we're sorry that you went through everything you had to go through, but whoo! we are thankful that you made it through. Those things.
If I didn't have on my skin tight jeans tonight, I would show y'all my legs. But I can't lift up my jeans. I got on these skin tight. You know them young people at the Bible college, they got me in these jeans. They say, "Where's some tight jeans?" I got them on.
They're not sagging, are they? They're not sagging, are they?
Oh, however you say it, that's what I'm doing. I got up and I said, "Your pants fall." I said, "Oh, these are skin tight. That's how they're supposed to be."
Yes. They just want to make sure that that your swag is always intact. You had swag from the beginning.
You better quit that foolishness.
They just want to make sure
they're not falling off.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Pastor. We've fallen in love with you. So thank you so much for being there. We want to thank everybody. Make sure you join us again Wednesday night, 9 p.m. for Raw Talk Live.